meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we'll start a meeting with our County Attorney, Matt Shipman.
The only thing I have to report on is there's been a request from the Extension Office to, extend our contract through 2018, and all it is really just an addendum to the original contract. I'd like the chance to look at the actual original contract, so we'll work to get that from Janet, and then I would just table this until I can actually look at the contract. So,
Okay.
Other than that, I don't have anything else at this point.
And I think that's exactly what we did last year, because we said, what's an addendum? Where's the actual contract? And you remember that conversation? And I don't know if Dan found it or not.
I'm not
So I think I just kind of slid by. So if you could find that contract,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
Just take it under advisement.
Contract just to include the personnel, or does that have to do with buildings, or you don't know?
No.
Yeah, it doesn't.
That's why
it doesn't even
I
give us
would
the
make a
full
motion that
reason.
we table this until Matt has had an opportunity to see for himself.
It looks like we've got until the end of the year to sign it,
Yeah.
so there's some
Yeah,
time.
because this really doesn't say anything.
No, it doesn't. It says how much you're paying, that's it.
Okay, we got a motion to table to the next meeting.
Second,
Got a second?
For discussion,
it appears just to be.
I don't even know if I want to make it next meeting or not. I mean,
Or- yeah,
I want to
until-
make it until he has
Matt
had
has-
ample opportunity to look at it, so.
It appears it's just for funding for the personnel with Purdue. That's what it appears.
Yeah.
Okay, could be. I really don't know.
Let's find out for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Anything else you had done that?
Nope.
Okay. Have you heard anything on the, in Welligent?
We haven't filed it yet. It's almost ready to be filed, so hopefully we'll get that filed this week, and then by next meeting I should have some feedback from them.
Anything on Solstice at all?
Solstice, so John Myers and I have been working with, there's an attorney that represents Solstice that is working on winding it down, and he had some questions about how much was owed, and we provided that last week, and we're waiting to hear back. We're gonna get something on that one. He told me that they're gonna be paying claims at 40 to 80%, depending on the amount of Rs. There's some disagreement in that one about the default provisions seem to suggest that if the default occurs later in time, then some of the money doesn't get clawed back, and that's what we're in a dispute about. But we told them we wanted it all. We're gonna see what the response is, and we get that, we'll let you know. But at this point, that one is gonna get resolved, it's just a matter of how much. And it'll be part of winding that company down and dissolving it, so
So whatever we get, we'll be
we'll be at.
lucky.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. There's multiple creditors. The way that the law works, if you're closing a company, you've got some cash. You got to figure out, it's kind of like a bankruptcy, you figure out who all your creditors are, then divide it pro rata amongst your creditors. And we're the biggest creditor, I think, but there are multiple. So hopefully that one will be resolved. They want to get that done sooner rather than later. So that one should be done sooner rather than later.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next on the agenda is Kim Erdly, who is Chief Deputy at the Assessor's Office for reassessment bids.
Page to the contract.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we did have, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and I have
Okay.
both of those with me also. They signed for the contract.
Uh-huh.
I did review that too, and let Kim know, and it's fine.
Okay. All right. And it's accurate.
Yes.
Okay. I would make a motion that we approve the contract with Accurate Assessment for reassessment.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the contract presented with accurate assessment.
Second.
Got a second? Further discussions? And that's for a 4-year contract on $130,009 for Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, and Phase 4, for a total of $520,036. Any further discussions?
Yeah, is that normal to get a 4-year contract?
That's what the state
is.
requires.
It is for
The
the
state
assessment.
requires.
Yeah.
It's our cyclical.
Nothing shorter, nothing longer, 4 years.
Right. Used to be every 10,
All right, thanks.
so, yeah. Now, I do have the corrected, the contracts for your signatures, so do you probably want to handle that for all of you to sign the actual contract? There's 2 copies here, so you want them
Yeah, we'll do
now?
As
that.
soon as we vote.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Now we can sign.
Okay. There's, and I got little tallies on them, so there's a place for all 3. And then the next one too, do you want one done? Sure. Thank you.
'20th? Oh, wait a minute, do we have multiples here?
Is there 2 here?
Sir? Okay, let's done.
What's that?
Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have Scott Wagner, a bid opening for junk and trash project.
I was here last meeting and talked about the property on Division Road, sent out to our contractors and gave a letter to Whitley Environmental, your attorneys. 5 bids, all of them came open except for 1. Various amounts.
Okay.
So those 2 individuals, these 2 are still working together, but I've highlighted their names.
Okay, the first one we have here is C&W Excavating to clean up and removal of trash and debris on home site using dumpsters, haul away vehicles, and scrap. Will clean up the entire property according to county specs, and that is quoted at $3,400. And why have we got 2 different ones? in
No,
there?
one's that gentleman, one's this gentleman.
Ah, okay. The next one is for Corey Koffelt, clean up Virgil Van Houten's property at 9940 West Division Road for $4,700.
I'm not sure, well. Okay, so it is a bid. All right. This bid's from Columbia City Iron and Metal LLC, excuse me. Their bid to clean up the property at 9940 West Division Road, 17,000. Well, I feel confident it's supposed to be $17,800, but it sort of looks like $17,000, $8,000. So I rather believe it's supposed to be $17,800.
Okay. Next one I have is Pulver Asphalt Paving, and it is a quote, again, for providing labor and equipment to remove non-running vehicles, various junk, older mobile home, metal, trash, including building materials at 9940 West Division Road. And that quote is for $19,450. Okay, the next one we have is a quote from Tiny Builders and Excavating. Junk and trash cleanup of property location on 9940 West Division Road. Removal of items, non-running vehicles, various junk, older mobile home, metal and trash, including building materials, clean up and haul away all debris. And the quote on that is $48,000.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
So there's quite a variety of,
What a
all the way from
variety.
$3,400 to $48,000.
The only person that's really talked to me in detail about and have a plan for how they want to do things has been Whitley Environmental or the Whitley, Columbia City Iron and Steel. They're the only ones that really talk to me about, you know, what do we do about trees, if there's, because there's items of trees growing up through them, and do we take all the trees down? I said, you have to save the best tree, and they've been the only one that's really talked about what they're going to do. The other
But have we been
individuals-
pretty specific about what we want done then?
The letter stated that they would have to remove all non-running vehicles, basically everything outside the structure of the home itself. They do have an older shed there, garage. I said anything outside the garage, but not inside, even though it's an open building. Yes, they're supposed to remove everything. Then also you have non-ferrous items that would have to go to a landfill, and they can't burn that on site or bury it, so they'd have to put that in a dumpster and pay for that to get removed. Gentlemen who bid lower are thinking of using the scrap metal to offset the cost of a lot of the other things. But,
The higher bid, they still get the scrap metal also.
correct.
One of the,
What?
I talked to the guys at Whitley Environmental a little bit, and one of the things they told me is that every time they went to look, more stuff was,
And he is. He's removing more things.
so that's,
Even this morning.
that affects how much scrap there may be, and making sure that the guys who are the low bid know the current state of maybe
That's
the
my only
issue.
concern is that they get out there and they don't get their money's worth.
Right.
And they're like, well, we're not gonna finish the project. And then,
Boy,
Plus, are you sure those two aren't supposed to be combined, since they're so
they're
much
supposed to be
lower
separate. I've
than?
talked to them separately.
Okay.
Yeah, came in here.
Surprising that
differently. And I asked them.
they're so much.
Yeah, well, that was like, you talking about these two, man?
Yeah, they're
Because
so
I'm
much
like,
less than everybody
yeah, do we add the two together?
the one's the C and the one's the W.
Exactly.
Oh. Well, wouldn't that be a little funny if they don't put it on one piece? Okay.
But
I
I-
asked the one this morning and they said, no, their bid is separate from the other bid.
But to do the same job.
Yep.
And the same letterhead.
Yep. One is not currently within Whitley County right now. He's out doing another project. And so he might not know exactly which is out there.
And again, you probably started out with this and I've missed it. What does Whitley Environmental have in this? We did not get a bid from them?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's
It's
this one
the
right
Columbia
here.
City's Steel and Iron. That's the same, there's parent company of.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, I got you.
Whitley Environmental is
Oh,
now.
Steve Smith.
All Pro-
Okay.
they're All Pro, and
All right,
Environmental and
okay,
iron
okay.
scale. They just put in a truck scale and got that certified, and they're gonna start scrapping iron and steel.
Do we need to take this under advisement?
Where they put the truck scale?
Behind their facility there on Cardinal.
Well, yeah, I tell you, I think so, Tommy, because part of everybody's bid is the fact that they get to keep the,
Right, I told them that I wouldn't turn in the bid till today,
Yeah.
because they need to inspect it this morning to see actually what's there. Once the bid's awarded, the gentleman off the property will stop taking things from there and,
well, he's supposed to.
right.
So
Can't
you,
police it 24 hours a day.
no, I get it, but I guess I'd be interested in knowing if we could take this under advisement to our next meeting and you could check it to see if he's removed anything. His instructions were, as of today, he can't move anything, right?
Well, Don, he could remove a lot of stuff and you'd never notice.
He's allowed to remove things up to the time you bid the project out.
jeez.
So when you give more time, we'll have to rebid it.
But
So
these
that's
things
really-
are such a wide bid that I'm
Oh,
nervous.
it is. I mean, 3,400 to
48.
48,000 for the same job.
Well, my thought on it is, we really have to award it to the 3,400 as long as they've all been appraised of what's expected of them. And
It's a contract.
as long as we let them know, that's, as of today, whatever's there.
Right. I mean, if he doesn't seal the property today, that's his own peril.
It's kind of my thought on it, that
No, I get it,
There's not
I get
much-
it.
They've been
All
told they
right.
have 90 days to complete the project because it's wintertime, and it's inclement weather, and it'll be muddy.
Well, or frozen, it's better.
Matt, do you
I mean,
have
it
any
can go-
comment on this?
Well, I mean,
I
the
mean,
only
they're
other,
just,
you're supposed to always pick a little better, okay, but the only other qualification is they have to be qualified to do the job. And that would be the red flag, I mean, I know these guys do excavating all the time, whether they have, I don't know their qualifications with respect to this, whether.
I think we've used them previously.
We have used Michael Coxon before.
Michael, yeah,
Yeah, Mike's.
yeah.
but you know,
And that's
those,
the only issue, I think, is whether they appreciate and are qualified to do it, like, for instance, if there are materials that need to be disposed of a different way that they don't know about, and I mean,
but he's already got that in the
Yeah,
quote.
that, I didn't see this, that's what I
proposal.
mean, I
Yeah,
didn't see
they
any.
have to, they can't bury or burn on site, so anything that's non-ferrous, they'll have to take to landfill. They've all been told that, so.
That was all in this,
Well, I mean, it's state law, they can't bury or burn.
well, no, I mean, as far as,
To your knowledge, has this one ever taken on a project and came back to us and said, I can't do it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was in my mind too.
but these things aren't signed either. These two aren't signed or anything.
Is that for him to sign or us to sign? Because we have his paper. See, that's the accepted signature, and
I don't know, it's just, they're just, the rest of, we got 3 good bids and the other 2's just scribbled down on.
It says right in there that their proposal is good for 30 days. I mean,
Both C&W Excavating Incorporated is bonded, or not bonded, but they are insured up to $1 million liability. I do have their certificate. The fact that 2 of them from the same company are bidding on the same project in separate bids is a little bit disconcerting.
you think?
Are they gonna fight over it? Are they gonna resolve? Is one not gonna be covered under the insurance of the other one? I don't know those things.
Man,
they're not, are they here?
I kind of feel a little like George. I think we should probably accept the low bid and see what the
we can
next step
second guess
is.
it all we want.
That's the problem. That's all we would do, is second guess it, and we don't really have I'll make a motion that we accept the low bid of $3,400 from C&W Excavating, specifically Mike Wilcoxon.
Okay, we got a motion to accept the $3,400
I
bid
may have to let George second that one.
from Mike Wilcoxon. I'll second it. Further discussions?
Go ahead with your discussion then. What are you thinking?
It may be good, but it scares me.
Well, it scares me too, but I'd be more scared to take the $48,000 bid and get the same work done,
So the
so.
next bid is 17,800.
Yeah, so I don't know, no, it's 17,000, 8,000,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know,
Okay.
I don't, it seems if we're gonna err, I'd rather err this way. And you know, we err 50% of the time.
And if we do wait, if we table this right now, the gentleman would have an opportunity to remove more
Yeah,
and for two more weeks.
Yeah.
So we did approve it. Okay, so we've got a motion, we've got a second. Any further discussions?
I'm speechless.
All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
so now we've taken the vote. He's not supposed to remove anything.
Right, I'm gonna call the contractor right now, let him know that needs to secure the scene, it's his responsibility, those are his things now.
Okay.
And
Alright.
anything he loses, that's his responsibility. But he'll have 90 days to make sure it's up to county specs.
Okay.
Or I guess we would go after him. Or have his buddy take his bid, I don't know, so.
Do you want that?
I'm just sure we're gonna meet on this subject again. I really am. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Scott. Anything else you have?
Not unless you have questions for me about anything.
Thank you. Nathan Bilger, our Planning and Building Director for Plat approval.
Afternoon, have two plats that I didn't get the Mylars for until about noon, actually. So, let's see, go with the older one of them first. This is Wynwood Estates, which is located on East Lincoln Way, just west of 700 East. What they're doing is taking a large parcel and dividing it into two pieces because the one parcel is too large for them to live on, so they decided to split it into two pieces. It includes dedication of right-of-way along Lincoln Way, and they are also splitting off another parcel outside the plat to the adjacent property owner who owns the T-shaped or lollipop-shaped piece right there in the middle. This was approved by the Plan Commission at their October meeting, as presented.
I move we approve it.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve for discussion. Nathan, you said that it's too big to live on. I guess I don't understand.
They just didn't want as much acreage as what the current parcel
They didn't
is.
want to deal with it.
Okay.
It would have been a total of about 14 or 15 acres, and they're making it like I'm sorry,
Let's
10, about 11 acres, and they're making it a 7 and a 4.
Yeah.
Probably a wise decision.
Yeah, they plan on raising horses and stuff there. It was excess acreage to them, so they might as well sell it off and get a little cash.
Selling one of them then, is that?
Yes, the front one, the one that's fronts onto Lincoln Way would be sold, and the owners would then retain the back one.
And that was a unanimous decision on the Plan Commission?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, we've got a motion, we've got a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same?
Then I'll start into the other one. This is JST Acres. I believe the initials stand for family members, although I'm not entirely certain. This is located on 600 North, east of 400 East. And what they're doing is they are splitting off the portion that includes the current existing buildings, and the remainder of that property then would go into Acres Land Trust.
Look at, look at over, Don, you may be familiar with this. But this is what they're keeping, the rest of it's wood.
I believe there's a wetland back there too.
Ooh, is it?
This was approved.
Jim and Jim and Sharon, okay.
This was approved by the Plan Commission at their November meeting last week. So you're the first signatures on there.
Yeah. See this spot right there? It's where my wife gets her massages. He didn't really want to know that now, did he?
Well, it doesn't do me a lot of good, no.
I get it now, though. I knew they were gonna put the woods to the acres, yeah, okay. I make a motion that we approve the, JST acres.
Got a motion to approve JST
Second.
Acres. We've got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Now, is it gonna be aye or raise your hand? Because you really messed me up the last time. I raised my hand with the aye, but
We gotta switch it up every
we
once in a
do,
while.
just make sure I'm not sleeping. Where you at, big guy? Oh, up there.
We do have another plat, one lot plat that the Plan Commission approved last week that I would expect probably at your next meeting.
You don't think we can handle 3 in a day?
I didn't have,
Two's kind of our max.
I didn't have the Mylar for the other one.
Do you make these?
No,
Oh,
that's one of the requirements that they provide those. The engineers.
that's
the
cool
surveyors.
stuff. That's what that's called, Mylar?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Anything else for me before I head off?
No, I'll come up and talk to you. We were discussing subdivisions and water. And I said I'd come talk to you, and I haven't done that yet, so.
Okay.
Regional sewer district stuff, so, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is Amy Biggs. She's our EMA Director.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Yeah, afternoon, ma'am.
Some general material for you here. We're going to go over it as we speak to that.
Thank you.
Jane, off the record. The reason for my request today is to come before the commissioners as part of a safety team representative for Whitley County. We started a project at the end of December 2016 that is still in continuance today. And that project is in regards to the AED, which is the external defibrillators for life-saving purposes that we house at some of our facilities. It was a recommendation of the safety committee that we take this forward and pursue it to add additional AEDs at all of our facilities. That would be a total of 11 total. We already have an AED here at this government center, and we also have one at the courthouse. But we want to expand that due to our ancillary sites that we have off-site that we think that could provide the best protection for our employees and visitors and anyone that may stop at those facilities. So we began this project with searching out for grants. We have before you a letter that we had submitted a request through the Community Foundation and unfortunately did not meet the needs of the Community Foundation projects at that time. We then went on to pursue a grant possibility with Parkview through the Parkview Foundation. That was in coordination with Pam Smith when she was still here as the HR director. We did sit down and meet with Parkview, and at the time they had said that they would consider the project but not as a bundled project, that they would do it through attrition. About every 2 years they would be looking to potentially replace over the course of that time to add to what we currently have. And I thought that project was probably going to take foot and continue. And then I received the letter that I've enclosed in your documentation asking us to apply. I received this back in October. I took it before my advisory board council, who directed me to kind of take it to this next step. So the application period to apply for that particular grant would be November 22nd, which I could meet without issue. But I do know, having spoken to them, and the scope of the project as they're concerned is only to replace about 2 of them a year, if at all possible. And that was only conditional on other projects in the community that didn't take precedent. So looking to come before you because I feel that we've got an incredible price on this particular product. And I think it would provide a comprehensive coverage, again, to the entire community as we expand the opportunities here at the Government Center and in the downtown as a whole. Just an example of that is the Planning and Building Commission meetings now that are held in the lower level. If someone was to have a medical emergency that required cardiac arrest and needed an AED, they would have to travel to the 2nd floor to retrieve that and then all the way back downstairs. Logically, we considered placing it on this main floor, so they only had to come up 1 flight. But then consideration was given to the number of individuals that come in and pay their taxes. And they're primarily on the 2nd floor, and they conduct business on the 2nd floor. So we have that type of medium. In addition, at the courthouse, it's in full use now on all the levels that it currently has. And again, it has to be retrieved from the main level if there is something going on in the court system for which they need to retrieve it. We looked at the building, or excuse me, the county highway department that has multiple different locations. They have staff that are in different buildings at any given time. So we looked at replacing them there, as well as the annex facility and, I'm missing one other probably. As I said, there was a community corrections.
Yeah.
The quote that we received, just to give you an idea, you used to be able to purchase an AED, would cost you about $5,000 for one. So the quote that we have is a very aggressive quote where we were able to drive down the cost of those particular AEDs to $931, which is an incredible advancement in technology and availability. And I think most of us have attended events, and you probably, hopefully, have never needed one, but they're there. They're at most community events. So we're looking at a total cost of $10,962.60. I did reaffirm that verbally over the phone with the contractor that provided this quote back. As you can see, 1/19/2017 is when they provided the quote. I did call and make contact with them, and they said they would honor this quote. They would be sending me an update, but I didn't receive that prior to our meeting today. So I'm asking permission to proceed to the next step, which would be to seek county council approval for funding to be able to support this project.
I think Commissioner Schrump's got some better news for you.
Okay.
Yeah, well, as part of the hospital sale that we had back in '97, I think, there was a community foundation account that was set aside, and it was for granting money for health issues. I think it started out being for EMS.
It was
services.
primarily like $1.5 million. What it was county, the citizens of the county paid a nickel on their taxes for a building fund, so we could build a new hospital sometime. Well, in the working with Parkview, the county kept that money, put it in the foundation, and the idea was to fund EMS for years. That quickly changed to fund medical reasons in Whitley County, and so I give him credit. He's the guy that thought about when we talked about this. He's the guy that thought about that, because to me this is absolutely perfect fit. And I'm sure what happened at the foundation with you is they looked at it in general.
Yeah, they looked at it as a
Didn't think
grant.
about looking at-
They were giving grants out, and I think that was,
Okay.
they were looking at it,
Because I think there's a separate committee
yeah.
Okay,
for this, so.
all right. So how should I proceed from this point forward?
Actually, I'm a member of the board for the Community Foundation. Let me work with September McConnell And we'll probably have to set up an EMS committee meeting, and I think, Tom, you're part of that, I'm pretty sure.
Okay,
But we don't meet very
That's good to
often.
know.
okay.
But
Okay.
anyway, I think, this is a great situation that we should be able to take the money that's involved there. I know that there's some monies available, and I think we should approach it that way, because it is really county monies
And it's,
at this point.
to me, it's an absolute perfect fit, It really is.
Yeah.
Yep, we've done our due diligence in other avenues, so that'd be terrific to have your support and to propose this project. If you need any additional supporting information regarding the units themselves or their placement, I have all those details. I just did not include that in your packets today.
Probably wouldn't hurt to have that to
Okay.
present to them.
And I would just like to say that should for some reason that doesn't pan out, please come back, because I think we're sold on it, but we think this is a good way to finance it.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we'll have to try to find the money somewhere. And I did want to say that the brand that you're looking at and the model you're looking at is the same that one of the local trustees bought for the park and paid about $4,500 per unit. Now we're at $900 and some dollars, so it's you've done a great job of
Yeah, thank you.
saving lives there, so.
And I would like to say that that fund actually pays every year for $125,000 of our EMS service. And then also, and part of that is there was $160,000 a year, every other year coming out for ambulance service, but as part of our last contract, Parkview is taking out all the ambulance costs right now.
Vehicles.
Yeah.
Terrific.
And-
Okay.
And thirdly, that there's a floor, like I told you, it's 1.5 million, and the deal was, you could never spend any of the 1.5 million. You could only spend the interest. That floor has been raised to
It's
1.75
right now.
But of course, now, money's coming in, 2008 or 9, we wouldn't be able to do this, because that was pretty slim, but, so, anyway.
That fund has been managed very well, and I think that they've actually funded over $2 million out of that original 1.5 million. It's been a great fund for us and a great opportunity to go through the foundation.
And the last I heard, they still had $2 million close to it.
Yeah, it's close to 2
In the
million right
fund.
now, but,
All right,
so
excellent.
they've done a great job of administering that.
So we'll let him run with that one.
Yeah, I
You
appreciate the
guys
education,
work
and I'll
together.
definitely get you that information. Is there any other subjects that relate to emergency management that you have that I can answer?
One question I've got on these AEDs, is that, are we gonna have a training program with that? Are you,
Yes.
okay,
Every year, through the safety committee, we look, well, I shouldn't say every year, but every 2 years, there's a certification process that goes through, and we invite individuals from different departments to participate in that. It's not mandated, it is all volunteer, but we would want to make sure that we have a individual from each site specific that would attend that training and be willing to take on that responsibility to be the lead in that regard.
I think that's important that we have.
Yeah.
But these
Training with
things
that.
are almost idiot-proof.
Yeah, they are. No, they really are.
They give you really good prompts.
Yes, they do.
Okay. Well, thank you, gentlemen. I
Thank you,
appreciate
Amy.
it.
Brandon Forrester, highway update and quotes.
Do you have a copy of the truck quotes?
I think I've got,
This is for the 2018 budget, but we're looking, what we're looking at is something that we can use this winter. Snowplow for subdivisions. And we just looked overall at our needs for the department. And we had in our 5-year plan a 1-ton dump for 2018 with a plow, and then just a regular pickup truck with with a plow that could be used obviously for snow plowing, but then also running guys out to mowers or, you know, the great all crew or whatnot. So, there's a need, and we wanted to look at, not the 1-ton dump, because based on what we had heard, we were gonna be spring before that could happen. So what we got was quotes. We actually got quotes for 3/4 ton and a 1-ton. And then, but what you've got before you is the quotes for a 1-ton. That's a 1-ton diesel, long bed, regular cab. And this one is from the state.
Yeah, state bid.
The state bid, and you can see that both the other two quotes are cheaper than the state bid, but that's to our benefit.
That's changed, hasn't it?
So, both these suppliers indicated that, you know, even if we'd order it today, it's gonna be into January, so we might as well get it ordered, is our thinking, so. And then we've got two quotes from one supplier and then a third quote for different V-plows for this truck. The last one that we bought was the Boss, and that's the only pickup truck V-plow that we have. Our thought is it's a little bit more than that Snow Dog, but just for consistency with parts and maintenance, I think we're looking at $180. Just stay with the brand that we've already
Stay with
had.
Meyer?
It's the Boss.
Oh, with Boss, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So, we've got Western plows, but they're straight edge, and according to Kevin, those V plows they are so much more versatile. They will cut through stuff that a straight plow it takes a lot longer. And plus, they actually will go forward, so they're nice for cul-de-sacs, because you can actually
Right.
push stuff to a point.
Seems like it'd be easier on the truck too.
Right, well, and this truck, the quotes that you've got, that's for a 1-ton. So,
Yeah.
you know, we used to plow snow, I know, with half-tons, and it tore the suspension up.
Yeah,
So,
if I was driving,
3/4 is like a minimum.
if I was driving it, I'd want a 1/2-ton, but since you're driving it, I want a 1-ton.
Well, yeah,
No, you have to have
suspension's a little
that.
different, definitely. You wouldn't want to be driving a 1-ton every day. But so, you know, the cheapest of the trucks is $36,108.55. And the cheapest plow, well, not the cheapest, but, you know, the cheapest is $59.75.
You know, Brandon, I mean, lowest bid is great, okay? But for $387, we can buy it from a dealer who pays taxes in Whitley County.
Okay?
And I kind of think, I'd hate to sell a Whitley County business out for $387. And so I would make a motion that we buy the F-350 from City Ford. I was just going with the truck right now.
Yeah.
For $36,495.25. And again, that's $387 over Bob Thomas Ford in Fort Wayne.
And I would like to note in that is a tire fee of $1.25.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It
right.
appears not to be per tire, though. I think it's 25 cents per tire, the way it looks.
With the
so.
spare.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the spare. Yeah, wow, okay. So that's my motion.
Okay, we got a motion to approve City Chevrolet's price of $36,495.25 for a 1-ton Ford pickup.
Second.
Got a second? Further discussions? All those in favor, raise the right hand. Opposed, the same.
Yeah, no, I'm waiting. I'm not gonna put my hand up.
Yeah.
Okay, then you want the plow also?
Yeah, I
yes,
also move
please.
we buy the plow from W. Jones,
Same thing, yeah, same
boss?
thing again,
the boss,
Got a
B
motion,
plow.
yeah.
got a motion to approve
Yeah, second.
W.A. Jones
Sorry.
Boss plow, and we got a second. Further discussions? And that would be 6821, or 6281.
6193.
Yeah, 61,
So why do we get two prices on that?
6193.
It's the Western, the bottom
The
one is the
Western,
Western.
this is a Western plow, that's a
Okay.
Boss.
6193.
Sorry.
Got a,
Did we?
got a vote? Yeah, we got a motion and a second.
Okay.
Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Okay.
Good job, Brandon. That's a
thank
good
you.
price on.
We, just ballpark had estimated about 50,000 for that, so I was happy that.
Oh, yeah, you're
A brand
right.
new 1-ton diesel for 36,000, that's,
Well, fully equipped, you're way under 50, so.
yeah. So.
You can put a radio in it now if you want to.
I would think
AM.
it'd come with one. Just AM, who would listen to anything else? This is just for your nighttime
Thank you.
reading pleasure.
Oh, yes, okay, okay.
Do you want some nighttime reading pleasure? Yeah. Oops, sorry. Anything to do with bid bonds I've got in red, because that's my big question with this.
Okay.
We used to require a bid bond for everything, and then as time progressed, certain items, we didn't require a bid bond. And so a bid bond is to assure that the bidder is going to abide by his price. And if he doesn't, you have to go to the second highest, then you can take a claim on the bid bond. Good luck with that. We're predominantly dealing with local people, and if they're not local people, they're people that want to work with us. I am of the opinion that either we require a bid bond for all items or none of them. If we don't trust our vendors to give us a good price, then we should be requiring a bid bond. If they balk on their bid, then, we'll consider that next time. So that's the big question. And I'm not asking you to do anything with this today because I'm going to bring it to you at the next meeting where I will ask you to sign the notice. We'll get that advertised to open bids on January 2nd.
We're gonna do it 2018 this time.
Yes.
Yep. I guess, in response to the bid bond, maybe I'm wrong because I've dealt with bid bonds for 50 years now. I guess I thought it was the law.
I don't see anything in that.
I'm fine without it if the law permits it. I guess every bid I've ever been involved, whether I was bidding or receiving it, always had a 10% bid bond. And it's a hassle,
Well, here's the deal, all right? For the last several years, the most expensive thing that we bid, which is asphalt and gasoline or diesel, we didn't require a bid bond on it.
Yeah, see, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah.
I believe it's a May. Matt, if you could confirm that, that'd be great.
Yeah, we'll get a determination before
Okay.
the next
And the
meeting.
cost of those
Okay.
bid bonds are passed on to the
Yeah,
buyer.
we're gonna pay for
Oh,
it.
yeah, we pay for it.
And
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
got guys that
Yeah.
won't bid because they don't wanna spend the money on the bid bond,
Again,
so.
a bid bond is actually not that expensive. A performance bond, that's different. They're very expensive.
Yeah, it's probably more the pain of the time that you
It
have
is.
to go through than the
It is.
cost, would be my guess.
Yep.
Okay, that's kind of FYI. Speaking of painful, I don't know if it was a month and a half ago maybe, that I had you sign the LPA consulting contract for county bridge inspections. That's between Whitley County and Engineering Resources. That, along with much other information, was submitted to NDOT, and on the fourth submission, we finally got NDOT to agree to all of the breakdowns and just, I mean, almost nitpicky things. I mean, the project description, we can't have NBIS, which is National Bridge Inspection System. Bridge inspection QA/QC Phase 1 and 2, we have to have a countywide bridge inspection and inventory program for cycle years 2018 to 21. That needs to be the title. And countywide bridge inspection 2018 to 21, no, it's countywide bridge inspection and inventory program for cycle years. Those are the kind of things that we had. There was a rounding issue. Part of one of the, I mean, we're talking either $50,000 or $100,000 for that phase, and it was, you know, it was 49 cents different from when you rounded something to whatever. I guess the good news is NDOT, when it was all said and done and the dust cleared, our contract price went from $143,000 and change to $141,000 and change. So, and I just got this on Friday. I haven't asked Mac to look at this. It's the same thing with the numbers are different. So if you want him to look at it, we can do that, or if you want to sign it and move on.
But we feel like it's the last hurdle, though? You think?
Yeah, well, yeah, for this phase. We'll still have to do a contract with NDOT, but we got to get the consultants.
Well, the contract with NDOT's to get our money back, isn't it?
Well,
Our 80%?
Yeah.
Or whatever?
Right.
Yeah, okay,
Right.
okay. So this is with the engineering firm?
yes.
Okay.
And Matt's already seen it, but not with the
Yeah,
price change.
It's a boilerplate contract.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, the only thing that they let us change or add is in the appendices, which is the justification, your Phase 1, Phase 1A, 2, and 2A, and what your price, the field work price per bridge and the office work price per bridge, and that's where things got messed up, because in spreadsheets, you can carry things out to 10 decimals, but when you go adding two numbers together, 1 and 1 is not always 2. Because if one is 1.3 and the other one is 1.4, when you add them together, it's 2.7, which is 3, see? And that's what we were up against here. I got their approval on Friday, NDOT's approval on Friday.
Great,
if
that's
you
the
want.
good news.
Yeah.
So if you care to entertain.
What are you thinking, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, if the only thing that's changed is the price, then
I make a motion and we accept it and sign it.
Okay, we got a motion to accept the contract with ERI.
Second.
Got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Okay, if I can find the signature page, here we go. While you're signing that, just real quick, we, in the last week and a half, did some paving in 2 subdivisions, a little bit out at Stade Lakers and at Hickory Lanes, which is on 205, just southwest of 300 East. Those were both needed and in our plan. We've been doing quite a bit of
One
berming.
spot.
And
Yes.
we've been updating our list of people that want berm dirt. We have some scheduled or, planned to take the landfill. We met with the guy from IDEM out at the landfill. He's good.
Good.
Kevin actually, I think, has done everything. Well, we haven't seen the report, but that day that Kevin met Marty up there, he's already taken care of everything with the monitoring wells. So
Thank you.
we'll wait for the report.
So that means we can take it there?
We
Yes,
surely
we-
can,
Yeah.
yeah,
Good, that's good news,
yeah.
good news.
But we've got quite a few people that, when we're out working, people will just stop and say, hey, can I have some of that dirt?
I'm sure, but do we need it in the landfill worse? I don't know what the
Well,
status is.
I think as long as they take care of that first, then whatever's left.
Yeah, we'll make sure that the landfill is covered. See,
Okay.
it was mentioned originally when we got the word that he wanted to meet us, that we needed to put some dirt up there.
Yeah.
Of course, when Kevin met him was last Wednesday. Remember last Wednesday? It was a driving, cold rain, and apparently while they were on site, that didn't make the list of discussion. So we haven't gotten the report yet.
Oh,
If he says we need dirt, we'll put some dirt up there.
okay, thanks.
Brandon, when Kevin was out there, did he see anybody leaving trash out there again, or
He didn't say
cement or
anything.
anything?
He
Okay.
didn't say anything.
Because we did have troubles earlier in the year. with
I
people
would
putting
think IDEM
concrete.
would have mentioned that if that was an issue,
Thank you.
yeah. So yes, we're berming. We've had a few complaints. It's to be expected.
You're tearing up my yard.
Yeah, you're tearing up my yard, and, when we tore up my yard, I took a video just in case somebody wanted to complain to me. I could show them, look, all right, we're not picking on you. We're doing it to get the water off the road. And we actually got a compliment. We were berming 200 South, the school road, new school. We replaced the bridge this year. We're gonna improve the road next year. They're gonna have a new high school coming up. It should be a decent neighborhood. But we got a compliment from a contractor in that neighborhood, and said it's about time you do that, and you need to get the water off the road. So for a grumpy old man to give us that, we took that. We had about 200 ton of salt delivered today, which we had more than enough for a moderate event left over from last year, and they're supposed to be delivering some of the ice grit today, so we got a guy in the yard mixing that up. I don't see anything in the immediate forecast, but we should be ready. Amy's gone. Yeah, well, she last year put together a really nice PowerPoint presentation that we gave to Whitley County Consolidated Schools Administration. We gave that presentation this year to the LEPC, Local Emergency Planning Committee, and invited the schools. One of the schools wasn't able to make it, but we shared the information. They were very appreciative, and the two that made it, I think, got something out of it. So, and with that, I shared all contact information with highway and the schools, and emergency management, of course, dispatch. So, one other thing here, we've had drainage board meeting this morning, and we've got 2 drainage board members who's Dave Johnson and Dick Kyle. Served as chairman for quite a few years.
Just a little accident prone, but otherwise
Well,
okay.
it could be worse.
Yeah, well, thank God it could be worse. Oh, I would make a motion that we reappoint Dick Kyler and David Johnson to the Drainage Board.
Second.
Motion to approve Dick Kyler and Dave Johnson to the Drainage Board. And any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I will say that board does a great job.
They sure do.
You know, that is really a tough board to be on. When it comes to drainage, boy, nobody likes paying their drainage assessments. But when anybody has a drainage problem, it is the most important problem in their life. And so it can be a struggle sometimes, whether you're on the board or working for the office, but yeah, we have a good board. I've talked to other counties and we have a really good board. So that's all I have. Anything else?
No, but I know of counties near us, all 3 commissioners sit on the drainage board.
Yes, that is an option.
Well, I think that's a good idea.
That's a terrible idea.
You guys could change that at any point in time.
No, I was just surprised. I didn't know.
Well, the
That's-
problem with that is then, I mean, no disrespect, but then your drainage matters get political.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it can't be
It's-
political.
It's
No.
hard enough, but you need
Yeah.
to try and be objective when it comes to
I
that
guess,
kind of
see,
thing.
I like having people on there who know what the situation is. You just, so that's, glad we get, I'm glad we have the drainage board we have.
One second here, Brandon.
Yep.
While we have you here, we have request for application for permission to bury cable pedestals and attachments along South 800 East and East 900 South. And that's for relocation of gas facilities for public improvement.
This has to deal with the roundabout.
Yeah. Did
Absolutely.
you finally get that straightened out with them then?
Yes,
Because it looks like you've approved it, huh?
yes. They're gonna protect their, what do they call it, a micro regulator or something like that with some guardrail. I talked with Allen County, that's
Okay.
the solution that they've used in the past, that, it's gonna be 20-plus feet off the road, 30 feet off the road, and protected with guardrail, so.
And this is submitted by NIPSCO.
Okay. I make a motion, we approve the permit request.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a second? Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you, Brandon.
Okay, thank you.
Are these in triplicate, Brandon?
It's supposed to be.
That's 3, Tom.
Not the Troy, not necessarily.
That's the only permit that.
Yep, that was it.
Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda, we've got Orry Cummings from SmartWatt.
Good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Follow along for you gentlemen. So, let's just kind of help us with the explanation real quick. As mentioned, Orry Cummings with SmartWatt. Just briefly want to introduce and discuss guaranteed energy savings contracts. Want to look at this packet here. So the first page just kind of gives us information on SmartWatt. I won't get too much into that. That's something we can circle back on if this is something we guys look further into. But mostly the important points there are SmartWatt is, we're a national company. What we do in Indiana mostly currently is work with small business, small municipalities on upgrading their buildings to be more energy efficient. We work with the Duke Energy program, where they're exclusive provider for their customers, and as well as other projects throughout the state, and Amazon facilities, FedEx facilities, things like that. We're a smaller company. We have the capabilities to do what all the big guys do, but we're small enough where our, profit and overhead is, margins or requirements are a lot less, so we're able to still get good pricing on things like that. So the biggest thing, and the reason I want to talk to you guys is for the Guaranteed Energy Savings Contract. So basically the gist of what this is in a nutshell is, that first column shows kind of what your utility bills are. So obviously you guys know when you get to budget time, that's kind of a number that you just carry over. There's not a whole lot you can do about it, that utility budget. So what we do is we come in and we help you lower that number, and kind of gives you a better way to spend that money. So it allows you to invest in facilities instead of paying it to the utility company. So it puts that money to better use for you, saves you money in the long run, improves the facilities. So the thought process here, the next page here, is that these projects, there's no out-of-pocket costs for the county. So this is something where we basically come in, it gives you a kind of an alternative procurement method versus the low bid. So you're not running into those low bids that come in and you're uncertain if you want to accept it because you're not really sure what you're going to get out of it, but you guys just kind of went through that with one of those bids you were looking at. These are basically, you get guaranteed costs, guaranteed savings. There's no change orders as part of these projects. The guaranteed savings shortfalls, that's why I have this article here that I gave you guys, the highlighted part. This is an article from a project we completed last year. Essentially, we come back a year later, report the savings that they got. So the highlighted part basically shows we came in, they were spending in excess of that 114, but we basically guaranteed that they were going to save $114,000 as part of the project. So what ended up happening is they saved $120,000 and change. So they were able to get that surplus difference. So essentially, if it were to be less than $114,000, you'd have to write them a check for the difference. So that guarantee kind of helps them, protects them, and that kind of shows how that works. The goal is to have it be budget neutral. These projects cannot cost you anything. If they cost 1 penny more than what you're spending anyways, we can't do it. So that's kind of where the thought process comes in from that standpoint. And then back to this benefits sheet. The other big thing, it comes from your operating expense budget and not from your capital expense budget. So these aren't required to have public referendums, but you're still able to complete these capital improvements without having to do public referendums and go through that process, which obviously can be lengthy and stop you from doing some of those improvements that you might need to do. Some of the improvements just listed here: LED lighting, HVAC improvements, water conservation in jails is a big one. Pretty much every county we work with, there's a big water usage. Jails are energy, they take a lot of energy. They get 24-hour lighting, a lot of showers, a lot of toilet flushing. We're able to come in, put valves on the toilets to prevent the inmates from flushing the toilets all the time, timers on the showers, things like that help. A lot of the county facilities that we go into, we're actually able to cut the water in half, the water usage in half, so that's a big savings there. And then just like building equipment systems, anything that we can do to help save energy for the facilities. Windows is a big one, especially we do a lot of historic courthouses that need new window updates, and obviously because they're historic facilities, those can be very expensive. These projects allow the energy savings to pay for those new windows or pay for roof repairs and things like that. Solar is not really relevant in Indiana anymore, unfortunately, because of some of the changes that have been happening. So these are just some projects that you guys can take a look at that we've done. Some relevant energy counties that we've worked with in Indiana on energy projects, just to give you some background of what we've been doing around the state. This is a sample project. This is actually from a project that we completed. Basically gives you each line item and how it's broken down. So you get your overall project cost. What we do is come in, and if there's any incentives that the utility company offers or through states or grants, we're going to go out and get those. we have grant writers and everything like that. So we want to take that top line down as much as possible, and then we'll go into the project. We're going to guarantee the savings, and then whatever that savings is, that gets allocated over a certain amount of years, and however many years it takes to basically pay off that total amount. Typical project lengths are 10 to 15-year contracts, and that's about how long it takes to pay the project off. And then this process just kind of gives you a breakdown. Basically, our first step is kind of off the page here. What we do is we come out, we do a feasibility assessment for you. It's something we do for free. It's free engineering for you guys. We'll go around, we just take a look at 12 months utility bills. Usually spend an hour to 2 hours in each facility, go around with a maintenance guy or whoever you guys designate to do that. We put together a nice little report, kind of gives you your own little project financial that is specific to you guys. And then it kind of gives you an idea if this is something you want to take a closer look at, what you may be able to get out of this project. Some things usually come up that you weren't even thinking about. And it kind of helps you be more proactive instead of reactive with waiting for things to fail to replace them, trying to get ahead of that and avoid emergency replacement costs and things like that, as well as maintenance savings on a lot of those items. That's basically the gist of it. Do you have any questions on that?
No, not really.
The question I have is, you're saying that there's no out-of-pocket cost, but, you're saying replacing water saving valves and on $1 million project, I guess, how can there be no out-of-pocket cost on that?
So there is a third-party financial institution that's involved. So they basically fund the project up front, so you guys don't have to pay anything up front. And your first payment, so you obviously have to pay the project off, but you're just basically reallocating the savings.
That's where the lease payment comes? Okay.
Correct.
I was wondering what that was all about.
It's called a municipal lease. It's not like
Yeah.
a traditional lease. That's just what they refer to it as. It's not considered a debt. It's an annual lease, the way it's broken out, because it's from your operating expenses, things like that. It's not considered a debt like a bond would be. And obviously it doesn't have the fees and everything else that's associated with a bond.
Now, we've been through this.
Have you?
We received a $265,000 grant, been all through the
for any
jail.
projects? Yeah.
Yep. Everything changed, boilers and everything changed in the jail. And,
We've actually had a study here also through Mark.
right, yeah, we've had a study here too, so.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's a lot of grants
I'm
available.
familiar with it.
Yeah, a lot of the counties we work with had some projects done. Like obviously, so you guys are TA, so you're not like way back on the technology with the lighting and things like that. Obviously, LEDs can cut that usage in half still, so there's still opportunities there for you.
Yep.
So there's always little
Yep.
things, it kind of adds up for you.
Okay.
But yeah, the goal is to never replace stuff that you guys have recently done. If something's still good, we're not gonna recommend obviously
Sure.
replacing that, but it gives you kind of another option, way to look at things.
This probably should be presented to Mark Sturdivant. and
Yeah,
let him-
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Any other questions?
Yeah. I can email you some too. I got two of them.
Where's your home office at?
Indianapolis. And that's the other thing too, obviously, we're gonna be kind of the general contractor, design build contractor for the projects. We oversee the design, installation, and then we come back annually and do a measurement verification, actually provide you a report that shows exactly what your savings is.
Yep.
And that's what this article is from, is basically we're going back and reporting their savings. But we're gonna use as many local contractors to do the work. So that's where all the money's gonna go, is to the local contractors. 75 to 80% of the work is done by local contractors, so county contractors. Some of the items are more expertise, so there's not usually options, but we always use local as much as possible, so that's something.
We'll present this to our maintenance foreman and have him take a look at it.
Sounds good?
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
The only thing I got is, I spoke with Craig Lawson who's the chairman for the Whitley County Community Celebration.
Yeah.
You guys were presented this back in July, but after speaking with him, ninth, he said it actually should be the first and the second. It's in the first and the second.
I make a motion, we approve the date change for that function.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the date change from the 8th and the 9th to the 1st and the 2nd for the Whitley County Community Christmas Celebration. And that's in December, this December. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Aye. I didn't want to take any chances.
Okay.
I want to be ready.
Vote. Okay, thank you. Do we have
Just for the
to?
initial.
Right here?
Yep.
Thank
We
you.
date that too. Okay, everyone had a chance to take a look at the minutes.
Move we approve.
Got a
Second.
motion to approve the minutes of November 6th, 2017. Got a second? Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. You've been doing a good job on those. They really look nice.
Did you? Yeah, thank you. I guess it's just.
Okay, I think Don took a look at the claims. Don, what did you have?
Really,
Anything come up?
no, it was not a big claims day. Found, but this is one department, so I don't want to say it's a lot of departments, but the claim forms that get sent to Tamala are coming in without explanations. On the explanation line, it's blank, so therefore she doesn't know what to write for explanation, and so I'll talk to the department that sends them in and tell them they need to put something in that line to explain to her why we're paying a bill. So outside of that, I didn't really find anything else. I'd make a motion, we approve let's say payroll claims first.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve the payroll claims.
Second.
Got a motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
And then I would make a motion, we approve the accounts payable claims.
Okay, we got a motion to approve the accounts payable claims.
Second.
Got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Three different ones.
Three? Okay. The first 3 pages.
Commissioner, did you have anything additional?
Nothing.
Commissioner?
Sorry, no.
Okay, I've got a couple of things. Number one, I've been contacted by the state real estate representatives on our Department of Child Services to present them with a proposal for additional space for their program. And we've also need to talk to Extension on what we're going to do. So do we have someone, anyone who wants to volunteer to ramrod that?
Because I think where you're going is we need a committee of everybody involved, right?
Yeah.
To
I think we need Mark, maybe a council member and commissioner.
How do you talk to the
The state,
state? Yeah.
easily, I've got his email, and plus I've got all kinds of proposals from them. The
Okay,
last
now
proposal.
I'm looking, okay, I apologize, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I was thinking about making a move. You're thinking about we need to have something put together for the state.
Right.
I see.
But as part of that, we'll have to discuss what we're going to do with the extension.
Yeah,
also.
I guess I see those as two different things, but yet they are one thing. I don't know anything about real estate or prices. I'll do whatever you want me to do, but I don't, it's certainly not my forte, so.
Okay, and we've already kind of started this a little bit. We've got, we've talked to Whitley Manufacturing, and they're getting us a price on maybe some office space for the extension office. And I've got Mark looking at what it'll cost to open up the building to provide, basically what they're looking for is security for their people also. That's the main thing. More room. They've actually got offices in the closets right now, so
But
it's,
you negotiate a rental price with? Is that from the
That'll be-
state, the local organization?
no, that'll be the state. That'll be the gentleman that's contacted us. We have to give them a proposal also. They've given us their proposal, and we have to let them know what it's gonna, what the
Are
cost is
they
gonna be.
aware of the whole building and the looks of the whole thing, or?
They've been in at least 3 times to look at it, and they're aware of the parking situation.
Have
and
they
that-
made us an offer on the whole building rent price?
I think what happened is there was a hold put on the state monies for a little bit there, and they were given, the DCS was given over $100 million by the state to expand, and for some reason that money's was put on a hold. And at that point, I haven't heard anything from them until probably last Thursday I heard from them, Tom.
So we should stay below 100 million then.
Probably, but we'll have to determine what our monthly
Yeah.
costs are gonna be, or,
It's an interesting project, and I would be more than happy to help. It's out of my comfort zone, that's the
Yeah.
only thing.
Do they offer us a price? Do we demand a price, or, I don't have a clue what office space is worth
Yeah.
in Columbia City.
well, I think what we'd have to do is we're gonna have to work with maybe Greg Fall, somebody like Greg.
Yeah, local real estate
Yeah.
people who would
Yeah.
know what office space is.
But if you could work with Extension Office on that part of it, I'll work on,
Well, that part, the extension office part, is not what that building's worth to rent it. That's a new location.
right, and that's kinda to get you involved in that.
Oh, that'd just be wonderful.
Okay. I'd appreciate it if you would, and then I'll just take care of, I'll get a hold of some real estate people and see.
I'll
who
do
would-
anything else you want me to do, just
Yeah.
let me know.
Well, if you can kind of work with us on
I
this.
will, I can work both ways. That's
So
fine.
at the extension office, do you deal with the extension agent? Or do you deal with the extension board, or who do you deal with?
I guess I thought he probably
thought
knew
that's
that.
why we got
You know,
you involved.
He's probably been in 4-H since he was like 8 years old and.
6.
I thought he was feeling that, but
But I guess,
But, you know, theoretically, Cindy is the head person
Well-
until the first of the year.
why?
Well, the council funded John to be the full-time, and then he will take over as the,
Oh, actually, I don't know that.
I guess I didn't realize that.
No.
Okay.
John Woodmansey.
yes.
He's gonna be here full-time and not
Well,
split.
that's, they have
Yeah.
agreed, if they pass their
He's a good
budget,
guy. He's a good guy, so.
Well, my question is, does Purdue have to get involved in this?
Well,
no, I don't think.
we get no income from them.
Right.
We just have to provide them room.
Right.
All right, okay. All right.
Who?
Purdue,
Oh,
or its extension, the.
yeah, the extension office.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to provide room.
And
Every
quite-
county has to do that.
And quite frankly, I think some of the things that's been bandied around, quite honestly, I think are far better than what they have.
Yeah.
They may not feel that, but I do. I think it's much more appropriate than what they have, so. All right, well,
I'd
I-
like to put that
I'll
on the
do
front
whatever you
burner
want
if
me.
I could, Tom, and
All
then,
right,
you know,
I'll see if I figure out who you need to talk to, for sure.
Okay.
okay.
That's what we need.
Need me to go with you, I'll go with you, so. Safety in numbers sometimes.
But that's something that we're gonna need to really, look to, providing them, you know, what can we do, at what cost?
You know, George, it's still a good idea if the DCS decides not to take the rest of the building or doesn't want the building at all. That's still a very valuable building to Whitley County.
Right.
So, yeah, I think we're in a win-win situation on this thing. to be
But
honest.
theoretically, they gotta make up their mind before we decide about the extension office.
Right, right. You know, it's a.
You know, if
it's a-
they don't want it, the
it's a
extension
chicken and the
office got a
egg.
ton of room. If they leave,
Yeah. Yeah, but once you give it all to them, you'll never get it back. So I think there's a lot of things to look at.
Just has to be worthwhile, whatever we do.
It does, it does.
Okay, and then, let's discuss aquariums in the offices.
Yeah, I know we
Kinda
talked about it. and-
tabled that the last time.
And sometimes you have to take a stand. It's probably not all that popular. But I believe there's a difference between having an aquarium down the hall where children are coming in to get vaccinations and children are in there for health reasons. I think I see that as an okay place for the aquarium. And that is the only place one's ever broken, and it didn't
Right.
kill us. But I'm not sure that I see an aquarium in one of our offices where the public doesn't really view it.
Yeah.
They'd be better off getting a computer screen with fish going in front of it, so.
And that is maintained by a third party down there. The health
Okay.
department does not,
No,
physically
that's right, they-
clean that. and
Nope.
well, that
take
one
care of
down there is 5 feet from a door on ground level with no basement.
Yeah.
The ones at the courthouse are 3 stories up, water trickles down the,
Yeah, so I'm thinking we might be better off saying no aquariums in the courthouse.
Okay.
Courthouse, probably the museum.
Extension? Oh, any of our buildings?
Side of this one. Any buildings outside of here. That's just my thoughts on it, so. And in fact, I'll go ahead and make another step and make a motion that we.
Make that a policy?
Make it a policy that there's no aquariums except for the one that's in that office right down there, but I think that's for a different reason, so.
Okay. Okay, we got a motion.
I'm expecting to be cut off the Christmas card list. It's okay.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same.
Oh, geez, that was good. Take a stand, come on.
Well, and I think the difference is that, you know, this down here is professionally maintained and,
Yeah,
it,
it helps keep the little ones
yeah, it's,
under
It fascinates them.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a soothing effect for the kids. I think that's all I had.
That's a beaut, isn't it?
Where's that at?
I don't know.
That's courthouse, that one, I think both of them in the courthouse.
Yeah.
And again,
Well,
it's a
that's not-
safety issue if you look at the electrical wiring.
Oh, my
it's
gosh,
also-
isn't that awful? Ooh.
Call for the motion? Oh, anybody in the public, anyone have anything?
Okay.
Call for the
I'm
motion.
gonna guess we got a new reporter. Would you like to say hi or anything?
Yes, yeah, my name is Jay Lockett. I'm the managing editor at the Post and Mail now, and this is only like my second story, so.
Congratulations. on your
Congratulations,
position.
welcome.
We're glad to have you.
You coming back next meeting?
Yeah, or is this enough?
I imagine so.
Have
They'll
you-
probably be sending me to most things now, so.
All right.
I'm taking over for, I guess you guys with Linda. I'm gonna be doing a lot of her stuff.
Okay,
Great.
glad to have you. Thanks. Welcome to the community.
Feel free to come and talk to us at any time if you have any questions.
He means him.
Mostly him.
Yeah. George, George. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Have a safe one. I
Everyone
make
have
a
a
motion
good
to adjourn.
Thanksgiving. Motion, got a second? Thank you.